there's a lot of this correlative people are trying to make, and it seems no one kind of knows what's a violation of that child's privacy, where it's incumbent of the parent to step in and be like, this has got to end. And I can imagine I don't have kids, I can imagine being super challenging to realize there's a loss of connection with your child, and it's this device that seems to be in the middle. Have you seen any data coming out about things like that?
Yeah, I think it's very important to recognize that, even though we can class behavioral addiction, such as social media addiction or gaming addiction, alongside substance related addiction, so the more traditional kind of addictions like alcoholism and other substance use disorders, we have to bear in mind that behavioral addictions work very differently on the person's brain in comparison to substance related addictions. So, substance related addictions have a direct chemical impact on the brain. Whereas behavioral addictions, the impact is there. We know that from neuroimaging studies, for example. But the impact is much more subtle. And also, when we're thinking about social media use behaviors, for example, as an example of technology use behaviors, we know that they're significantly more complex than drug use, than alcohol use. Yeah, so with alcohol, we can say, oh, tomorrow we're going to stop. We're not going to drink ever again. And this is us sorted, let's say, in a very simplified kind of a term. You cannot do the same thing with technology use. We are dependent on technology use. As a society, we're dependent on it for our work. So you need your technology in order to be able to do your job. So do I.
Right.
And children will have to do the same thing. We're dependent on it very often also for our social communications, our social contacts. We have seen that especially during the COVID pandemic. Where we were, I think the internet was really a blessing for us to be able to get in touch with those people that we weren't able to see face to face anymore. Very fundamental, social. We are, as humans, we're social animals. We require the social connection that is given to us also via the means of technology. We're using technology for purchasing items. We're using technology to update our insurance policies. Any aspect of life is mediated by technology nowadays. For that reason, we cannot, equate technology use with, for example, the use of alcohol. It is significantly more complex. But when we're thinking about, people who may be addicted to playing particular games, it is often particular games, specific games that have a higher risk of producing problems, or the engagement in those might potentially produce problems. Then for those particular games, we could say, don't play that particular game anymore, which is often done in the context of treatment. But in general, technology use, taking away the phone, which is a means by which we're able to do all these things that I've previously mentioned, it is not a viable strategy over the long term.